YouTube's Cat Litter presents The March to YouTube Domination. Dateline Hollywood. A plucky red-haired beauty hatches her plan to conquer the internet by gaining 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. But she can't do it alone. Only you can help her in her quest to achieve YouTube greatness by liking, subscribing, and most importantly, sharing her videos. Remember, it's up to you to fight the evils of YouTube suppression and the evil corporations who want to keep you down by clicking the like button as we march our way to YouTube domination.
Well, we got good news and bad news. The good news is, I don't think this wokier than thou crap is going to perpetuate into the next generation. The bad news is that we're still dealing with basically a bunch of women my age or older who want to flash the live long and prosper sign in a Star Wars Zoom meeting when they write for Star Wars, and they don't quite get it. They don't quite get it. Hello, everyone. I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube consumer advocate harpy. I am taking a break from Godzilla vs. Kong because I had to jump on this real quick, and I know I'm just like 5 minutes in, watching it at home because I don't want to deal with the theater right now. I just really don't. It's just too much of an issue. I will have a review out for that. I'm going to probably start it over just to talk about this because I want to talk about this real quick. I have been trying to not give any undue and unnecessary attention to this High Republic stuff. But I want to talk about this, especially now, especially after what I watched last night. I've been watching. Well, what's going on with the High Republic? They're doing this. Yada, yada, yada. Nobody cares about it. But for whatever reason, a bunch of, middle-aged librarian types decide that we gotta put this in because this is trend. Well, it's really not. It's kind of on the downswing. I'm not gonna tell you why it's on the downswing. I'll tell you why. So Star Wars is doubling down on the woke, creating trans non-binary Jedi twins for their new comic book. This is great because this really speaks to what I wanted to make a video on last night. And I'm just going to stick it in this one because I don't know if anybody's going to watch an entire Punky Brewster video. Oh yeah. I've been watching the new revival of that where Soleil Moon Frye is still punky. She's still punky. She's just grown up. She's about my age and she's got a family of her own and she's dealing with all the woke stuff. She's dealing with all the diversity. She's dealing with all of the things that all of these science fiction franchises really need to just chill out on. Because there's a time and a place to deal with your growing pain issues, right? Your growing up issues. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? Who am I? And there's a way to do that. What kind of a person I am? Am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Did I say something crappy? Did I not? I say stuff crappy all the time. Yeah, I do. But then again, I don't really have this family-friendly image to live up to. I don't really have this sort of acceptable and relatable at all ages. And I'm going to bring Punky Brewster into this too. And Punky Brewster, incidentally, used Star Wars as an allegory, talking to a child in this series, one of Punky and Freddie Prinze Jr. Freddie Prinze Jr. is the dad of this group of people, of a group of young people co-parenting with Punky now that they're divorced. They're going through this with one of their children, with, I guess, the middle child now, their son, and he's wanting to wear nail polish. He's wearing kind of wraparound skirt things to school. He's going through a lot of stuff. The big issue is we need to be there for him and know what he's going through. And this is exactly where you do it. You do it in something like Punky Brewster. You do the woke, diverse stuff in something like Punky Brewster. You leave Star Wars as vague as possible so it brings in everybody. You leave it by spelling this crap out. By spelling this crap out right on screen, you're excluding anybody who might not even know. The thing about the new Punky Brewster, it is so filled with just, every place and point and every episode. It is noticeably diverse. It is noticeably woke. Does that distract? Yeah, a little. It does distract and detract a little bit because it does feel a little heavy-handed. It does feel a little over the top. Except for this episode 6, where we do talk about the middle son dealing with identity issues, dealing with a lot of this stuff. And he's like early middle school. I want to say early middle school. I'm not a good judge at age. But that's what it seems like to me because it seems like the brother is a little older. So Punky has one natural kid, I guess, with Freddie Prinze Jr. in the show, two adopted boys who are, ethnically ambiguous, I guess is the best way to put it. They're diverse. She brings in another kid, another young kid after she's divorced. That's the whole premise of the show. I'm really enjoying it, actually, and I'm giving it a much higher review, I think, once I finish it than I anticipated, and I'm probably going to finish it. How they're noticeably diverse, though. Punky Brewster, this is one of those shows. This is a family sitcom. They do tackle social and family and what if you have an uncle who might have a boyfriend? This is where you tackle this stuff at kind of that age level. You don't bring it into something like Star Wars, which can be viewed by anybody, and it's not just for kids, despite what Freddie Prinze Jr. said. No. Star Wars is something that the whole entire family can come to, and that's even the case with something like Punky Brewster, only with something like Punky Brewster. That's where you're going to want to have the discussion, because they give you all the information, and they give it to you in a way that makes sense in that sort of environment. In a family sitcom dealing with a specific individual, they bring back a lot of the original cast. I believe this is the same episode. They bring back the blonde girl Margot, and they brought her back for a cameo. But the one main cast member that comes back with Punky is the best friend Cherry, and they have decided to make this character gay. Which, all right, great. I don't care. Whatever. They bring in Cherry and her girlfriend to come in and talk Star Wars with the middle child as a way to say, and they use a lot of this.
If you were a Star Wars Lego, who would you identify as?
Well, which character do you identify as? Who represents you?
I would be a Commander Daisy. She was the first LGBTQ character in the Star Wars universe.
And like a kid would, he chooses Yoda instead of, are you Rey? Are you Poe? Are you Finn? Who do you identify as? He identifies as Yoda, because that's the thing. You never see yourself in Star Wars.
I'd be Princess Leia, because I'm old school.
I'm not in Star Wars. I'm not. Freddie Prinze Jr. is, but that's because he does a voice from one of the cartoons. Apparently, allegedly. I think he does. I wanted to talk about this, though, in a way that the kid handled this. And this is why I think there's some hope for the future. Because I think this episode of Punky Brewster is going to really, really annoy the wokier than thous. I think it's going to really, really annoy the wokey wokes by stating and by saying that, you know what? People don't have everything figured out at the age that these Star Wars things are kind of at, right? Even the kid goes to Punky and he's like, "Hey, Mom, did you have everything figured out when you were my age?" She's like, "I don't have everything figured out now." And that's what I love about her, because this is kind of like a Gen X sort of thing, where people my age group, we don't know what we're doing. We really, really don't. We're trying to figure it out as we go. And the fact that the wokier than thous decide and enforce, and they have this mindset that everybody is going to need this label, that everybody is going to need to have a label tacked on to them. Because, really, isn't that a little presumptuous? That people might not know what label they are. People might not want to be just confined to it, because by labeling, then you stereotype. And by stereotyping, then you segregate and exclude people from finding little commonalities to identify with, right? If you're telling me that these two characters are twin non-binary Jedi whatevers, that's more information about them than I really, really need to know. I can tell by looking at them if they're non-binary or not, if it is done in a very subtle way where you can open this up to anybody being able to find something to identify with. And that is the biggest problem with this modern day push for diversity by the wokier than thous, by this religious cult of wokey wokes that come into all of our stuff. And I think that they're going to be really, really pissed at the way Punky Brewster handled that discussion, because that goes against their narrative that no, you need everybody to conform and label and put a pronoun and put a thing and a this and a that. And that's why they got rid of Gina Carano too, because some members of their community decided that she needed to put pronouns in her bio because they did. What if you don't know? What if you don't care? What if you don't really feel yourself one way or another or anything? I don't feel very non-binary. I don't feel very, very particularly girly some days. I'm certainly not masculine. Some days I'm just more concerned with watching a Godzilla movie than thinking about my identity, who I want to be. Like, I don't know who I want to fucking be. I don't care. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And this crap doesn't give people a whole lot of options. They're like, oh, if you can't see yourself in this, then you're clearly something else, and this isn't for you. Then you're other. All right. So I have to call this out, and I have to talk about this again and again and again. In honor of Trans Day of Visibility, we are proud to unveil an exclusive cover highlighting Tarek and Surette, trans, non-binary. I don't care. Why is that important? I mean, aren't they out there fighting the evil empire? Oh, I guess when you're fighting for the evil empire, Disney, then you really have no more morals. And like, are you really the moral police? Are you really the wokier than thous? Are you really the religion? Because that's what it really feels like to me now. It's like, oh, we have this religious zealotry that we've built around these corporations, and if you don't fall into how these corporations have defined you be, then you're excommunicated, you're cast out, you're shunned, you're shamed, you're labeled a homophobe, you're labeled a racist, you're labeled whatever. And I'm actually of the LGBTQ community. I don't like dropping it all the time because it's not really relevant. I don't care. I don't think about it that much. These people are far too concerned with who they want to be in bed with, I think, because they're not getting any. That's what it feels like to me. Diversity and representation and diversity dinosaurs and space stuff and diversity. Actual ending feelings. Oh, we care more about. I don't care about your feelings really anymore, Star Wars, because you're clearly not all there. You're clearly this whole Lucasfilm story group, this whiteboard, this diversity whiteboard stuff. These are cult members who came in to Lucasfilm to try and force people into these stereotypes, because stereotypes are so much easier to market to than finding people who know how to develop characters. So then finding people to have as individuals based on their accomplishments and achievements rather than what's downstairs, what pronoun, what letter of the alphabet, how they are superficially, all of these things. By leaving these things more vague, you can allow more people to come to the table and identify little pieces and bits, because we're not all the same. We are not the Borg. We will not be consumed and turned into this conglomeration of, well, only this person and this stereotype, and the second you misspeak, the second you misstep, the second you say something that they don't agree with, and the rules constantly change too. They don't have like a set of rules. The only altar they worship at is Disney and the corporations that control everything. And for a bunch of people who are supposedly so enlightened, you'd think they'd understand a little bit beyond what the corporations are telling them to do, especially when these corporations are so hypocritical in the first place. But then again, that's just me going a little tinfoil, and YouTube doesn't like that so much anymore. Sorry, this was mostly Punky Brewster and not Star Wars, but it was really an interesting way for them to bring in the gender stuff in a way that I think these wokier than thous need to really, really listen to. You really need, because the first time I saw that, I'm like, well, the show is very diverse. The show is very woke. This is going to annoy the wokier than thous by saying, I don't know yet. It's okay to not know yet. It's okay. Oh, and the message I think what they were trying to bring in with Cherry and her girlfriend is that visibility is important. Well, we do have more people coming to the table. I mean, the country is always ever evolving, and having people who are or happen to be of the LGBTQ whatever plus communities, that is different than this whole representation and stuff. I think these are two separate things, and you can write great gay characters. I'm really, really loving the Cherry, and I can't remember her girlfriend's name. I'm really loving their little arc. It's so sweet. It's so cute. I do feel it crosses the line a little bit by getting a little too preachy at times. It gets a little too, well, we need to be, well, we know, everybody has. It's the same thing with diversity. It's the same thing with dealing with ethnic diversities as well. It's like everybody knows or is aware. And there's a way to overrepresent us, and there's a way to underrepresent us. And in a TV series like a Punky Brewster, it makes sense. It makes sense to have adopted diverse kids. It makes sense because she was adopted herself. She would be that type. She would be. Yeah, they even say Freddie Prinze Jr. even has a line. He says, "Oh, we are pretty woke." It's like, yeah, but now they're kind of painting this wokeness, and I really sorry, again, I'm going on to so much Punky Brewster. They're really painting this wokeness as this kind of lame parent thing now. This lame parent thing, because Punky's reading this list of gender. And the kid's like, I don't know. I want to wear a skirt and paint my nails sometimes. Who cares? Like, that's probably the healthiest way I can see to really support somebody, especially when they're younger and under the age of 18, because they don't know. Do you guys know? That's the big important thing. Do these people even know what they are at this point? The people writing this crap? Do the people who are writing this, I'm delayed, the Star Wars High Republic crap, do they even know what they are? I don't think they do. These people don't really feel like very fully formed, functioning humans, because all I hear about people from, in like their mid 20s, late 30s, they can't adult. Oh, I can't adult. Life's hard. I got a degree that I can't pay my college loans back. Well, you know what? Life's tough. Get a helmet. Life's tough. Get a helmet. Sometimes I want to avoid people who only focus on the superficial without realizing that, hey, people have different viewpoints. People are going to come to these things at different points in their life. And by taking these approaches and sort of properties where we're trying to avoid a lot of the current social issues, where you need something that's not a spot on, this is human modern day 2021 gender problems and issues and things. You're going to date your property. You're going to be off-putting to your fan base. You're going to have, the religious people aren't going to want this. The woke people aren't going to want this, because their rules are going to change in 5 minutes anyway. They're going to say they want it on social media, but they aren't going to actually want this stuff. They're not going to buy it. I'm not buying it. You're not. Who's actually buying this? I'm not buying these even to review. I don't care. This is Star Wars that's not in the main 3 movies. Do you really think a lot of people care that much about Star Wars anymore? No. Young people are going to be on their phones. They're going to be playing Roblox. They're going to be playing video games. They want Robux. They want Fortnite currencies. They want skins and things in their video games. They want microtransaction stuff. They want a community that isn't preaching a whole bunch of stuff to them, because once it comes off as preaching, This is like the PSAs. This is no different than like the drug PSAs of the 80s and 90s. What happened with those? Every one of them. Every kid who was on Dare ended up being on drugs, right? The gruff crime songs, the crime dog songs of not doing marijuana are actually really, really fun to listen to when you're out of your fucking mind on
smoke weed every day.
Marijuana, yeah. All right, I've ranted about this long enough. I'm going to be clipping in some clips probably, or some stills or something. Star Wars, when Punky Brewster does a better job of using Star Wars to talk about gender issues, then you guys really, really need to figure out what the hell you're doing. Grow up, get your religion out of my stuff. I am going back to watching Godzilla, so I'll see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!